Let's say hello to the panel. First up, it's Radio 1 star Neil Arthur-Naik. You what?
Yeah, I'm good.
Having fun?
Yeah, Friday. We were out of reception.
You were on another late one last night, weren't you?
Yeah, I did. And then Chris Moss had a
was
go at me this morning on the radio for leaving the studio in a mess. I want to say to Chris Moss, I didn't leave the studio in a mess. The studio was fine when I left it.
What time did you...
Oh, I finished at midnight.
Which makes the non-appearance of our Anne Diamond this morning. Anne Diamond, ladies and gentlemen, just check that to her. Now, she wasn't up till midnight, but she is stuck on the M40 thanks to an accident. In fact, our makeup artist, who did make it in, comes on the same route, and she just said, blame it on men driving that far off each other's bumpers in the rain, and I think they're probably right. So we're going to wait for her to have a little pearls of wisdom. In fact, you could say maybe that gastric band operation is working rather too well. There's big Anne, little Anne, and now no Anne at all. She's not here, she won't know. Keep it quiet. Now then, let's meet our special guest of the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Marcus Brigstocke.
Yeah!
Hello. How are you?
That was outrageous. Well done.
They wouldn't let me get a Krispy Kreme donut and put a rubber band around it.
No.
They thought that was out of order.
You better hope she doesn't have a telly in her car.
What? Now, the last time we saw Marcus here, I think you just finished your God Collar tour up in Edinburgh.
Yes,
and then you did some
exactly.
dates afterwards.
Yeah.
And now, like Lazarus, you are going to resurrect it.
I am, yeah. Well, I toured it until the end of last year, and now I'm doing a run in the West End.
Now, it's at London's Vaudeville Theatre,
yes,
it's worth mentioning.
yeah.
It starts on the 4th of Feb.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold my hand up here. I wanted to allow you to show off a part of the tour by doing a part, Does Everybody Need Something to Believe In? And I've spent about an hour this morning wrestling with trying to make it fun and engaging for the viewers, and I failed.
Yeah, well, people tend, for the most part, to take religion fairly seriously,
Yes,
I've noticed. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the letters I've been sent and stuff, just from the Daubings, you know how seriously people do take it. But it's an interesting idea, whether... I mean, everybody does have something to believe in, don't they? It may not be a spiritual thing, it may not be a supernatural thing, but everybody believes in something.
Even believing in nothing is believing in something, isn't it?
Exactly. I believed in Anne Diamond until I arrived here. And now I'm having a crisis of faith.
Marcus has begged me not to say, so what is the show about? How does it work? Because you said, well, it takes an hour...
Well, it's difficult. The show takes an hour and 40 minutes because it's complicated. I've tried really hard not to just kick religion. That's not the idea of what I'm doing. It's quite easy for a stand-up. Just open Leviticus in the Bible and read it out. It's hilarious. Eat not of the rock badger. I mean, come on, you'd never have kebabs for a start. So, you know, it's quite easy to do that.
The rock badger?
Eat not of the rock badger. It's very, very important. It's one of the laws laid down in Leviticus, along with man shall not lie with bear.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, again, is a very important one to remember.
Or mixed cloths, isn't it? Mixed weaves.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. I'm in a world of pain. So, but I've tried to move beyond that and look at actually what is worthwhile in faith, what is worth believing in, what's good about particularly the Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, and why I can't have them. I can't be a Jew, Christian or a Muslim because I just don't hate women that much, you know. There we go. Someone's hanging their head there. No, I mean, that's part of the show.
Can you send your letters of complaint straight to Marcus?
Please.
Save us on the postage.
But I go on to explain, you know, the incredibly sexist history of those religions, and it's history rather than the faith itself. I'm talking about culture.
Have you had a religious upbringing yourself?
No, it's C&D, Christmas and Easter, that's it. Come on, stockings and chockies, what's not to like?
Now, Marcus told London's Evening Standard that God Collar is the best thing he's ever written.
That's true,
Well, I mean, it's quite a big statement to make, because...
It's the best thing I've ever written.
How do you top it from there?
Oh, well, who knows? Who knows whether I'll even survive till the end of the run. We'll see if there's some sort of sacrifice thing. But it's possible, isn't it? Unlikely. But, yeah, it's the best thing I've written so far. I thought very, very carefully. And it is, I hope that everybody who comes, atheist, religious, agnostic, whatever, is offended by it.
OK.
Not willy-nilly. Offence is important. That's how you know you care about things. To be offended is really... If you imagine a life where you're not offended, It's just so dull. You know you care if you're offended.
This
it's
is
a
like
question
personal
of
therapy. This is...
It's a question of what you do then with your offence. Do you write to a TV station and say, oh, well, then everything has to stop, the whole thing has to be shut down, sell the BBC, shut down Channel 5 because someone said something I didn't like? Or do you actually then talk about it, make it part of your discussion and use it as an opportunity to learn, perhaps, or to share the stuff with friends? That's what I'm interested in.
You also do a great kids show.
I do, yes.
Because I really like this, and it's just a great excuse to get a clip in as well. It's called Sorry I've Got No Head. It's on the children's BBC, and I absolutely adore this. Have a butcher's, you say.
What a lovely thing. Go on. It's essentially a kid's sketch about a man with a raging eating disorder.
Yeah. Worth pointing out, you've got two youngsters yourself.
I have, yeah.
And you've introduced them to comedy via Laurel and Hardy.
Laurel and Hardy, yeah. I hope this is all right to say. I showed my 7-year-old son Laurel and Hardy, and he laughed so hard he farted. I mean, what better review than that, frankly? If my audience comes and you can hear their enjoyment, but also smell it as well, I think that's really what I'm hoping for. No, I was delighted. I showed him Laurel and Hardy, and he just laughed so hard he went off. It was great.
Marcus, can I just ask you, climate change, something subject close to your heart? And is it true you're going to be giving old Energy Secretary Ed Miliband a bit of a grilling tonight?
Yes, I am, actually, yeah. Well, I say grilling. I'm hosting the Shift Festival on the South Bank, which is about the cultural response to climate change. Try and move it away from just the science and the battle in the press of, like, is it happening, whose fault is it?
You mean put on loads of big gigs that take up loads of electricity
put on gigs,
and fly
crank the lights
from all
up,
over the world.
exactly. And, Ed Miliband's going to turn up and do a Q&A thing, so it should be interesting. Yeah.
Is this your serious side, or do you get some gags?
Well, no, it's a comedy show, essentially, but... I don't know, it's difficult with things like that, and religion as well. I take them seriously, but that doesn't mean that they're not fit subjects for making comedy about. So, no, it should be really good, the Shift thing. And Ed Miliband is a funny guy. Yeah, and I think, you know, while this... Well, no, I mean, he is. This government sort of limps towards the end of their days. I think their action on climate change is one of the very few things that has made me very proud. I think they've done a fantastic job. OK. They need to do more, but they're doing well.
Let's tell you about today's show then, shall we? First, Marcus, what else is making news?
Well, obviously Blair faces the Chilcot inquiry today, so the front of the Telegraph have gone with Blair's Iraq letters to stay secret. Tony Blair will not be questioned about secret letters he sent to President George W. Bush. I can't think what might be in them. Why they'd be so embarrassing for him. Dear George, miss you.
So we don't know about the letters.
I think your big house is excellent. Bush at the other end going, who are these from? So
what do they say?
There's a load of letters, including one that apparently was sent a year before the invasion that strongly suggested we would be with America under all circumstances, which is not going to be considered by the somewhat toothless Chilcot inquiry.
What do you expect we're going to get from a top-quality lawyer and politician, which, of course, Tony Blair is, and a load of ennobled civil servants that he probably had dealings with at certain points in his career?
Well, what's interesting is there's a baroness and some knights, and I misheard it on the radio this morning. It sounded like he was being questioned by the Baron Knights, which would have been ideal, really. Yeah, they probably would have been more conclusive. But he'll do fairly well. But actually, what Blair says today, I think, is less important than what's been said at the Chilcot inquiry, because he is polished, he's very good at what he does, and I suspect they won't make anything stick because nobody ever has. But what's been said up to this point by people who are somewhat less polished and desperate to get themselves out of the headlights of blame have said very interesting things about Blair, and, you know... But he'll do very well. He'll come out of it and nothing will stick to him, I suspect. Right. And apparently he's going to make a big play of how infant mortality has actually gone down in Iraq.
So what has this got to do with weapons of mass destruction?
Did you not read the other thing? It was weapons of mass destruction and infant mortality.
We obviously misfocused.
Underplayed, exactly. It's our fault.
Yeah. And he's going to join this company, isn't it, that is bidding for the oil fields of Iraq?
Is he?
A Saudi Arabian firm, and he's going to join. He's going to be working for them.
For oil in Iraq?
So, which is amazing, isn't it? an amazing
taking
coincidence.
over all the banking as well. It's sort of a big financial deal, isn't it?
Anyway,
Absolutely
that's Tony Blair.
extraordinary.
Anything else?
Yeah, well, in the Mail, they've gone with why praising children too much can stop them learning. And my kids, Alfie and Emily, are actually off school today because they're so bright. That I said, you guys, you don't have to go in. Daddy loves you and you're special, yeah? You're special. You're better than everybody else. Just remember that. Don't work too hard.
So is that what it is? That if you keep telling your kids they're really great, they eventually just believe it and stop
Yeah,
working?
apparently we were supposed to build up their confidence and then smash them down. Basically, treat parenting the same way the papers treat celebrities.
Yeah.
Build them up
Build
and
them up,
then
knock them
slap
down.
them down, exactly.
But don't leave a mark.
I think that just the important thing to remember with all of these things is you will not get it right as a parent. You just won't get it right, and so you do the best that you can, build them up when it seems appropriate, and if not,
Next.
tell them they're rubbish. A